that and what we would like to see uh, come into the game to hit the thing. So what I think is occurring right now with the marketing that I see is it's essentially hitting a certain demographic. And what I mean by that is I think Strange Matter has been targeting the same demographic for the most part. So like 90% of the people that are seeing these ads are people that are already part of the Discord, already know about Fault, or something in between. And then there's that other 10% of people that are just random people. And 10% is actually fantastic for marketing. Like we should just put that out there. But for a new game that's a startup like this that has so much uh, potential and so much opportunity, I would argue that 10%, and these are made up numbers. I'm just going kind of off the top of my head. It's not like I wrote it down and calculated it or anything. I would say that that's not good. Like that, they can do better. It's good, but they can do better, kind of thing, and
Yeah,
not
for
just a
for
little bit.
early access, they're going to absolutely need a trailer.
Yeah, uh, and so we just want to talk about that. So as Chandler just mentioned, obviously trailer. Trailer is the number one biggest thing. Like the trailer's gonna get the word of mouth out there, more so than anything. Like when I watch a good trailer, it makes me excited and it makes me want to tell more people. It'll be so I will bring up a good trailer to my friends. Trailers stay in your mind, right? Trailers have an impact on you in ways that people probably don't think of. Like when you think, if I said to someone, "What's a funny trailer?" Everyone has that idea in their mind because just same thing with a good movie. They stick so well in your mind that they actually attract you to the game. And trailers have a way of fishing, is what I call. It's That's not the professional language, but that's what people use. Uh, is you go fishing, which means going fishing means you're just going for whatever audience. You're just putting it out to the world and hoping someone sees it. Usually that's $1 million marketing plan. Uh, and I don't know, but Strange Matter doesn't have $1 million. So a trailer is good, but a trailer is good, but fishing is not. And having a Twitter, for example, is a way of fishing. Now, obviously, you need a Twitter, but it's not going to reach a lot of people with fishing unless you're McDonald's, if that makes any sense. Because McDonald's has the money to put up billboards for all the general public to see, even if some people don't eat at McDonald's. Because it's going to get them revenue because they have the money to continuously do it. It's commutative capitalism. They have the ability to continually push ads on you that eventually you're going to try McDonald's food. But Strange Matter doesn't have the money or the opportunity to do that yet. So that's where they need to be very specific and very uh, they need to very much focus on the different demographics that would be attracted to this game. And to say the MOBA demographic isn't large is absurd. Like we got millions of League of Legends players. Like that's a perfect demographic to target. You also got the whole
Yeah.
Paragon community. We're at a fraction of a fraction of a fraction that currently know about Fall. At one point, Epic Games was talking about 800,000 people were playing Paragon at one moment. 800,000, and we have, what is it, 12,000 people in the Discord. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you see that, and those are, so like the demographics there and the demographics large, and it's going to take a while to get there. But I just feel uh, there's more to be done, and I also think Strange Matter has more to come. I really do. Uh, and the best way to do that at the moment is to have a trailer that is going to get people talking, that is going to bring back the fans that gave up on Paragon because of its death. And even though they don't want to even though they heard about Fault or any para zombie, they're not willing to take the chance to even look into it because how can it be better than Paragon? Or why is their heart going to be broken a second time? Whatever it may be. And these trailers have the opportunity to change their minds. So, what do you guys think?
It's definitely about relighting that fire.
It's At the moment, I think it is. Yeah, it's about relighting that fire and just really getting people talking. Like I remember hearing about League of Legends back in now League of Legends is different. You know, League of Legends is like a once in a million. uh, indie company that goes big kind of thing. And they started years ago, like 2007. They started making the game or something, or I think it was actually earlier than that. And so, what got people talking about that is multiple things. The first thing that got people talking about League of Legends was that they went to PAX East, got a lot of people talking. It obviously was just a good game and people enjoyed it, and it was something new. Got a bit of buzz in the media. Just people, they just had a few journalists come in, say it's a good game. And then there's another big thing, the RLCS. I just said RLCS like it's Rocket League. um, their League of Legends Pro League. They started with the big $1 million championship at the end of the year. And just like, I remember at the time, and I said this, I think I said this last stream too. I remember at the time that that got announced, so many people were making the switch to League of Legends. Um, People like Call of Duty pros and everything were giving it a shot because that was at the time that was the biggest prize pool in gaming ever, and that's enough to make a career off of it, right? So people were really uh, doing exactly that. They were switching over just to give it a try. And I remember once when Battlefield they announced a $1.6 million tournament, and I remember there was because I'm from a COD background. I remember there was COD pros that spent a whole year playing that game, but then the tournament ended up dropping because Battlefield, uh, the company just dropped it, kind of thing. And like that's what I'm talking about, like stuff like that. Like that's the kind of marketing like people don't think about, uh, unless you know uh, well, most people don't, I say. And I just think there's little stuff like that that they can do. So I wanted to talk about with Steven Chandler here and anyone in the chat that might be listening. Uh, what do you think, besides a trailer, would be a really good way for Strange Matter uh, to gain more gamers?
Hmm.
Sponsored streams for sure.
Sponsor stream's a big one.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
Collaborations?
what do you mean by collaborations?
Um, hmm. I don't know exactly how it would look. Maybe it would be like skins or something, but like for example, there's been a few games that I've started playing because they did collect like there's a few I don't know if it would work for this kind of game, but there's a few mobile games that I started playing because they were doing like collaborations with other games or other media, like more popular stuff that
Okay.
you know, like maybe there's like for example, it probably would never happen, but what if they got like a Star Wars deal where like I don't know, they like you get like a stormtrooper skin for Bellica or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, is that kind of like in Call of Duty when you bought Doritos, you got two times the XP?
yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same concept.
Yeah. I think uh so let's put it this in a different way. Strange Matter. Uh, I was with Chandler, and I think we did out the expect. Was it with you, Chandler, that I did
Yeah.
out the expected cost of what the early access should be able to give
Yeah.
them? Oh, let's see if I wrote that down. Hang on. And some people are probably going to disagree with me and punch me in the head. But anywho, I did out the money of what they should expect. Everything from calculating the money taken out of the Indiegogo to pulling out a few any formulas and yada yada blah blah blah. See if I can find the piece of paper. Yeah, okay. So I got it. So and we kind of put at the bare minimum. We didn't talk about like 400% growth, which could happen like very well. Like that's in the realm of possibility. We were talking like just a little bit of growth. And what did we say? $209,000. 3 months into the EA, they should be able to see. Now that's with minimal growth. They probably should see more than that, and realistically. But that's not including the royalty that Steam's going to take. And I think Epic Games gets one, but I can't, but I'm not for certain. So it's probably going to be less than that. And that's also before taxes, of course. Um,
Yeah, and that's before anyone gets paid.
yeah, that's before any of that stuff. Yeah. So that's for 3 months. That's pretty good for a small company. It's not the best, but it's okay. And there might be 227. Anywho, we'll just say 210,000 because I had a few numbers written down. I don't quite understand my scribbling. So if so, we're talking 210,000, and let's say they got 10 employees. I think they have more than that, but we'll just say 10. So let's say $40,000 a paycheck over 3 months. So over 3 months, they should be able to pay the 10 people with money left over, no problem. If we're talking 40 grand, which is not very much. Well, it's also not very little either. And there should be more money after that for server costs. Of course, need a bit of contingency money in case you go under at any point, or to create a new hero. You need a bit of that money in the bank, um, and so on and so forth. So what it roughs out to is they probably have at most, and I'm talking at most, unless the game explodes, which could possibly happen, because I'm talking bare minimum numbers here. They have $18,810 for marketing. I don't know if
It
anyone
really
knows,
isn't a lot.
which is very, very little money, by the way. Like that's a big lump sum, but not for a company. It's not. Like
Yeah, I
let
mean, you might be able to do a couple like the paid streams. Like you'd only be able to give somebody like 100, 200, maybe $500 at absolute most if it was like a higher name. But
yeah.
still, it's like who's going to go? Oh yeah, no, I'll play your game for 2 hours for
Hmm.
$500. Like a lot of these streamers going to want that.
Hmm. And I also come more from a film background, and so let me just look it up before I say. So let's put it this way: for a 1 minute TV ad, I just went on Google. Uh,
I mean, I definitely think they'd go YouTube ads before they ever did TV ads,
yeah, I know.
which should be a lot cheaper.
Oh, it'll be extremely cheaper. So if we just say a YouTube ad is, oh, well, I saw $1 million, but something tells me that's like, you know, Game of Thrones kind of TV, spotlight with everything. BB saying we're currently talking about marketing, so we're currently talking about just theories, not really theories, but ideas that we have that could just make Strange
Yeah,
Matter grow.
feasibly how they could get their name out there.
Yeah. So if so, obviously 500,000. So there's no case for TV, but if we cut it down, we'll say $5,000. Let's say you get $5,000 to someone to make a 30-second ad for you, which is not a very big ad. For Fault, for Fault, marketing for Fault. How can they grow their player base and reach the most amount of people in every corner? Because we want the game to grow, BB. We want the game to grow, and yeah, it's just something to talk about, really. Some um, so if we said that, that doesn't leave with a lot of money afterwards. So you can put that on YouTube, Twitter, blah blah blah. But then what are you going to do with the rest of the money, Chandler? Like if you had more money to do that, what would you do?
Uh, I don't know. Again, like it's going
What
to come from like the smaller things, like
I would
I don't know, like
say,
an actual advertisement. Like the best advertisement they can do is just a regular trailer and hope that gets
yeah,
kind of like
that's like
passed
that's like
around.
the biggest impact. I think what else would be really good to do with the money is I would love to see. So um, I'm not sure if Twitch or Steam does this, but I know that like Expedia.ca does it. Um, I know. So when I worked at Avis Rent a Car, but COVID, we used to pay money. We used to give Expedia money so that they would make us the first choice that you see on their webpage, so that people would rent with Avis. So I feel like maybe some of that money, if Steam could put you on their list so that people are, because no one's looking at page 5 on Steam very often. You know what I mean?
No.
But if you put down a bit of money so that you end up on page 1 of Steam, you're more likely to attract a few more people, especially when you say it's only $20 to try it
Yeah.
out. That's fantastic pricing.
Oh,
Uh
100%. And
and just
again, like I think that's also the part of early access anyways, because a lot of that money, like it'll probably coexist, like whenever they do decide to have the full free play release, that's when they're going to have bigger ads going out, and you'll see it going. Because again, like there, it's not really supposed to be the average consumer going to early access. Like this should be for the people who want to directly support the developers. Like, yes, it is nice playing a fun game and getting into it early and whatnot, but like the main point of any early access is directly helping the developers create that game and
yeah,
build it to more than just the early frame.
yeah. And I think, yeah, that's where, if I was, so from a money perspective, without word of mouth, because that's like a gazillion different things you can do, I would spend the money to get it higher on the Steam page, uh, and just, and spend the money to where maybe you could look into a YouTube ad. So, yeah, BB, I'm sure they do know, but it's still nice to talk about. We're just here to give some feedback and our own opinions, and you're welcome to do so as well. So, so as I was saying, yeah, and that'd be really cool if they could take make a YouTube ad, obviously put it on YouTube, Twitter, and make that so that when you click on a video in the MOBA genre, um, you that ad shows up on the YouTube video. So it shows kind of like how Raid Shadow Legends shows up. I think that'd be really cool. What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, it's just that's going to be the biggest hurdle for them because again, before you had brought up this game to me, I knew nothing about it, and they've been kind of working on it for how long now? So it's
Uh,
one of those things. It's like
mhm.
I don't know, like it's definitely going to be a process. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, and I come from kind of a marketing background, so that's why I just always find it really important because it's kind of the little bit of expertise I have kind of stems from there, and in no
Yeah,
way, and that's why I think it's I don't know, I've seen, who am I playing against here? I have no idea, to be honest. I couldn't tell you who the people playing the enemy heroes are, as I just watched the screen. Hang on, let's
yeah.
see if I can see as it goes. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, sorry. I just yeah, I just think I've seen what it can do and like how much it changes stuff. Um, and I just think I think that is probably the one of the two top things they can do to really get this game to grow is obviously come up with a trailer. That's going to be the biggest thing. And just somehow spread the word of mouth, which means make it show up on YouTube. On YouTube, make videos. Make it on the first page of Steam or the second page. Um, make it show up as like a promotional tweet on Twitter, so on and so forth. It's pre-recorded. Yeah, this is BB saying we are not testers of fault or any kind of that. We are just kind of doing our own thing here, just trying to spread the word of the community, come up with a few community topics that people have thrown at us, and just discuss it to try to hype up the game and just keep it on
And that's
going.
the biggest thing. It's like that's kind of why, again, when you look at all the different pair zombies and whatnot, like why I've definitely more so gone towards Strange Matter with this whole thing is that
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be listening to the community most. So that's why things like this, having these conversations and like getting the community's opinion and being able to talk about it more than just being fed information and more so like as a
Mm-hmm.
community growing ideas. And because again, at the end of the day, it's the community is what's going to make a game either succeed or fail. So
Exactly. Exactly.
really just having healthy conversation like this is the best.
So for everyone that just joined, we are just putting up some Fault gameplay. We're not affiliated with Strange Matter Studios in any ways. We're just people of the community, just like yourselves, that are super excited about Fault, and we want to see it succeed as much as possible. So just